All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. We are in the month of November 2024. Our focus today is learning about the Padma Mudra, or also called the Lotus Mudra. So I'm going to give you some of the benefits of this mudra, but just to explain what a mudra is, and you can relax and sit. We're going to start seated either in a chair, on the floor, someplace comfortable. So you get comfortable for yourself. A mudra is a sign or a symbol, and usually it's a hand gesture. So I think the one that we know most in yoga is the Anjali mudra, and it's prayer hands. And we use this in different areas of meditation and of worship, things like that. So it's well known that this kind of means gratitude, honor, that kind of thing. So each mudra or hand gesture has a meaning. And when I first started doing yoga, I thought, well, why can something we do with our hands make any difference, have a meaning? Well, then I got to thinking there are gestures in our modern day. So, for instance, if we go like this, I'll put it in front of my shirt so you can see it. We say this, we're A-OK, right? So we kind of know what that means. If we do this, it's a peace sign, so it means peace. There's also other gestures that are not very nice. I'm not going to demonstrate those, but you guys know that if you see that gesture, it feels icky. It has a bad connotation. So let's learn about the Padma Mudra. I'm going to come down to sit on my pillow. So a Padma Mudra, or also means Lotus Mudra, is we take our hands into prayer hands, but then all we touch is the top of the wrist, the thumbs, and the baby fingers. So I'm actually making, if you can kind of see it here, I'm making a funnel with my hands and really spreading my fingers out. So as I mentioned before, if you have a little bit of essential oil or something that smells nice and you'd like to rub it into your hands, you can do that. And I'm doing a little bit of vanilla and vetiver. This is called mindful pause. So I'm just going to rub that into my hands and then form the Padma Mudra. So the wrists connect, the thumbs connect, the pinky fingers connect, and then we open the rest of the fingers really wide like a funnel. And we can just place that with our elbows tucked in right under our chin. And it's okay if you don't have anything, any aromatherapy, but just holding the mudra, let's close our eyes and begin to deepen our breathing. So while you're holding the Padma or Lotus Mudra, I'm going to read to you some of the known or what the yogis of old thought were the benefits of this mudra and why we do it. So the first benefit is this mudra calms the mind and promotes relaxation. So I just want you to bring yourself into that place as you hold the mudra and you breathe. Think about calm and just bringing any anxiety down that might be going on in your emotions right now. Think about relaxing. Another benefit is it enhances our focus and concentration. And those two things are important in our yoga practice because as we go through the poses, we want to really internally focus, not let our mind be scattered and wander out to things that are what we have to do later in the day. So think about focus and concentration. The Padma Mudra stimulates creativity and intuition. So when we practice together in the LisaBug community, I give you suggestions on poses and how to do them, but I want you to be creative and do that by intuition in your own body. How can you make this pose a little bit more designed just for you? And that might mean to enhance the pose, to progress the pose, or to regress the pose in any way that you'd like. Style it, make it yours, be creative. The Padma Mudra balances and harmonizes energy in the body. So I think of this as being a funnel where something can come in the funnel or something can exit out. So we think about the balance of our breath. We inhale and we exhale. We have energizing breath. We have calming breath. So it's that yin and yang that we have in our yoga practice. We want to balance that and harmonize the body. Also, this mudra helps deepening meditation and spiritual practices. So if you are a person who enjoys a little bit of meditation in the morning, maybe try your Padma mudra while you're meditating and in your quiet time. And then lastly, the Padma or Lotus mudra cultivates a sense of inner peace and tranquility. So let's just take about 5 more breaths here in our Padma mudra. Eyes can be closed, as we might think about what this represents for us. Calming the mind, peaceful, creative, intuitive, relaxing, and balancing. One more breath, inhale and exhale. So in our practice today, we'll come back to this mudra many times. If you'd like to use it, you can. You don't have to, but it will come in place of our traditional prayer hands. All right, let's bring the hands to the top of the knees, and we'll start to stir the spine around in a nice circle. And I want you to just start to relax and release your lower back. And I'm feeling this a little bit in my left hip now, so I'm actually going to do the same thing with my knees here in this position. Taking it around. We always want to listen to those little signs in our body and modify. And never work through a painful place. Always have a pain-free range of motion. All right, let's reverse direction. Take it the other way. And really switch on your intuition. Notice what you're feeling in your body. And switch on your creativity here. This doesn't have to look exactly like I am. You can move your head a little bit more. You can rotate your shoulders a little bit more. Maybe you want to take your hands off your knees and just really start to get the body moving this morning. And let's take one more this direction. And then come back to neutral. We'll straighten out the right leg, lengthen it long. We'll bring the left foot toward the inner thigh. And I have some extra pillows today so I can support my hips a little bit. If you'd like to do that, you can prop something underneath that leg. And then let's just take a side bend from side to side. And I want you to try to keep both of your sitting bones grounded into the mat, so that we really move through the side waist and we're not rocking back and forth onto the sitting bones, moving the pelvis. Now notice when your hand comes to the floor, you're supporting your body weight a little bit. If you'd like more challenge with this, you can keep the hand from touching the floor, almost like limbs of a tree. And boy, I can really now feel my core having to engage. Maybe I'm not stretching as far, but it just depends on our goals here. We want to use the abs and the obliques, or do we want to find more length, support, and really stretch? Okay, if you have your yoga strap handy, you can use that as we're going to stretch that right hamstring. So I'm going to loop the strap under the bottom of the foot. And then before you stretch forward, just try to sit up tall and pull back on the strap. And ooh, I'm feeling a nice stretch through the back of the lower leg and the calf. And by the way, for those of you that were with me on Tuesday, I think it's nearly everybody I can see online. Ooh, am I sore in my upper body from our strength training? So I'm wondering if you might be as well. I'm going to stretch out some of those areas today. Okay, let's take it forward any amount. Find your edge. And I've got my clock here. I'm just going to have us hold this stretch for just about a minute. And if you're watching later on YouTube, you want to pause it and hold it as long as you can, that's a wonderful option here. So this is a nice combination of stretching the hamstrings as well as opening up this left hip. And in a way, this looks like tree pose, except for we're bent forward. And we're going to do tree a little bit later in class, which will be our standing balance pose of the day. And you've got about 20 seconds here. Maybe we can take it a little deeper. I just feel like my back just wants to move a little bit from side to side. So again, intuition, creativity, relaxation, calming the mind and staying focused and concentrating on what you're doing. Okay, let's release that. Bring this knee in. You can keep the foot on the inside of the leg or you can cross it over. So I've been recently released to be able to cross over on the hips. So this feels okay. I'm going to do this morning. And then let's take a nice big deep breath in. Bring the hands into your Lotus or Padma Mudra. So I'm going to touch the pinky fingers, the thumb, open up the fingers nice and wide. And then start to turn the body toward the bent knee and bring the elbows in toward the chest. Now you might be able to take your right elbow across the left leg. Maybe we're just holding here. And let's hold our Lotus Mudra while we're in our twist. Two more breaths. Keep that mudra in place as we inhale and reach back up. And start to pull down to your chest and turn to the other side. And again, you might anchor this elbow to the inside of the knee. That might help you twist a bit. And I'm getting a nice little whiff of that vanilla lotion. It smells really nice, relaxing and calming. And then reach that mudra up. Inhale. Separate the hands. Exhale. And we'll switch our legs. So the left leg extends straight. The right knee bends in. I've got my little support here. Sit nice and tall. And let's take the yoga strap and loop it underneath the bottom of the left foot. And I like to put it under the ball of the foot rather than lower on the arch, because then I can really come into nice dorsiflexion, which is pulling the toes toward the kneecap. We'll sit tall. And then just a little fold forward to find your edge. And let's hold 60 seconds. Now just notice, are you tensing in here in the inner thigh? We want this to relax. The low back to relax. And if your hamstrings are pretty tight, you can also place something underneath your knee to help it be supported in a slightly bent position. And then bring your awareness back to your breathing, slowing down those exhalations. Try not to hunch up the shoulders, press down and relax. 15 seconds. And release the strap. Sit back up tall. We'll close this knee in. Option to bring it across. Inhale, reach. Find your Lotus Mudra. This time we're moving to the right side first, so we'll start to pull it in and twist right. And breathe. Now I'm really activating my fingers in this Lotus Mudra. I'm separating them with some energy. I'm pulling them back so I feel a little bit of flexibility at the first joint there of the finger. And I'm pressing in slightly with the thumb and the baby finger. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, rotate the opposite direction. And really look over your shoulders so you've got some nice mobility of your neck. Try not to hunch through your back, but stay lifted. You're firing your core muscles. And then we'll inhale, reach, and separate. Good. Uncross that right leg. Extend both legs straight. So I'm going to put a little bit of a pillow underneath my knees, just a little bit to allow them to relax and bend. Let's take our yoga strap now under the bottom of both feet. And you can also separate your feet slightly too. They don't have to be all the way together. I want you to be in a comfortable position. Sit up tall to start. Take a nice inhale. Now I'm feeling a pretty good stretch already, so I might just stay here a little bit more, but you can also fold forward just a touch. And you've got 1 minute here in this double hamstring stretch. This is called staff pose or Dandasana. Seated forward fold. Really deepen the breath. Eyes can be closed here. It really does help us to come inside a bit more, staying in the present moment. And you're welcome to take breaks on these stretches anytime you need and then come back in, especially if you're feeling any shaking or quivering in the muscles. That's kind of a sign that the body's fighting that stretch a little bit. Just about 10 seconds. And then release the strap. Come on up. We'll bring the soles of both feet together for our butterfly. I'm going to use my pillows for both hips to open, just to give a little support there. All right. Feels nice to have my knees be even now. So let's inhale. Find your Padma Mudra. Exhale. Rotate to the right. Now I can use my left hand to push into my right, and I'm not bringing the hands across my body when I do that, but it helps me to get a little bit more of a twist. I'm creating my own force here. And inhale, reach as we come back to center. Exhale, pull it in and rotate left, and you're pushing with your right hand a little bit to create dynamic tension. Keep spreading those fingers wide. It's like a lotus flower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale right through the center, and we'll hinge forward any amount. Now I can actually touch my elbows to my knees, but your knees might be a lot wider out. But if you can make that connection, it's almost known as a bind, where we're connecting our body, different body parts together. It's a nice way to just kind of up the ante of the pose a little bit. Good. We'll come back up. Inhale and release and exhale. Good. We're going to be doing a little bit of wrist mobility and stretching. So I want you to sit in any position that feels good for you. You can stay here, and we're just going to make a fist and roll the wrists. And I just want you to notice how this feels. Just be observant and then roll the other way. Then we're going to do this a little bit differently. So open your fingers wide, take the thumbs to the inside of your hands, and then make a fist. So now I'm wrapping my fingers around my thumb on each side. Now roll your wrist. Do you feel a change? I definitely do. So we use our thumbs a lot now because of holding our cell phones, and sometimes we text with our thumbs. And let's go the other direction. We can get a little bit of tendonitis in the thumbs. Actually, this movement with the thumb tucked in is a modification of a test that they do to see if you have that tendonitis in your thumbs. All right, let's release that. Open the fingers wide. Close and make a fist. Open wide. Close and make a fist. Open wide. And then I just want you to wiggle your fingers. It's almost just like you're tinkering the keyboard right in front of you. Just move them up and down, up and down, up and down. And then just roll your thumbs, just the thumbs, around and around. I've got a clicking going on in my right one. It's interesting. And then reverse thumbs. Working on that agility and mobility, strength of our fingers and hands. All right, shake it, and let's come up to a stand. I have my chair off to the side that I can use for balance, so you can be close to a wall or chair if you'd like to be. And I'm going to clear my mat of all of my props as we start to move into some standing poses. Okay, coming up to the top of your mat. And we will find our Dove Mudra, our Padma Mudra, our Lotus Mudra. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Glue the thumbs and the pinky fingers together and the wrists. And exhale, pull that into the heart and sit into chair pose. And just hold. Right off the bat, I'm feeling a nice little stretch in the back of my ankles here. And then we'll keep that Padma Mudra. Inhale, reach up. Then as we sit into chair, twist slightly to your right. And I'm pushing across with my left hand just a bit here. Look over the shoulder. Now make sure your knees don't go like that. So you notice the difference between my body being squared or my body allowing this pelvis to turn. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist left in your chair. Pushing with your right hand into your left just a little bit, creating that tension. Thinking about intuition, listening to our body. Creativity, modifying the poses as it suits our own body. Now let's create a flow with your breath. So we'll speed this up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist left. Everything from the waist down is really stable and in that plane of motion, not moving side to side. One more each side. Then right through the middle and hold. Now I feel some fatigue in my fingers and in my thumbs from holding this pose. If you need to shake your hands out, you certainly can. Otherwise, let's hold this about 3 more breaths. Really spread those fingers. Bring your attention to calming, to relaxation, to balancing your energy. All right, inhale, reach up. Exhale, just lower those arms down. We'll step back with the right foot. Turn your foot out just a little bit and bend your left knee. You don't have to use a chair for support here. You can if you'd like to. And then let's come to our Padma Mudra. Now we'll rotate to the left first. Push with your right hand into your left. Rotate over to that left side. Look as far as you can behind you. And I want you to tense up your right glute muscle. So you feel it working, helping you to relax your right hip flexor. Good. Now twist the opposite direction. Notice you can go a lot farther this way because we're in our open hip position when we're not moving toward that bent knee. Push with your left hand. And then back to the center line. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower the arms and step the back foot forward to meet the front leg. And just stand in mountain pose. Pull your elbows and shoulders slightly back behind the sides of the body. Engage your core. And then we'll step the left foot back. It's up to you how far back you like to go. It doesn't have to be a big step. Turn that back foot out a little bit. Come to Padma Mudra. And we're going to the closed hip position first. As we twist to the right, we're pushing with the left hand slightly. Balancing your energy, calming your breath. Tighten your left glute to open up that left hip flexor. And then let's move it to the left side, pressing with the right hand into the left. And boy, you can really see behind you now. Nice challenge for balance. And then back to center. Press equally into that Padma Mudra. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower the arms, step that back foot forward, and come to mountain nice and strong and tall. And I want you to stand where you can hold on to something for balance, either wall or chair if you need it. And standing on both feet, I just want you to rotate your ankles a little bit from side to side. You can even actually pick up the inside and outside of your feet as you move side to side. You don't need anything for balance. Great. So this is known as inversion and eversion of our feet. And we sometimes lose that pliability, that flexibility in our ankles and feet to be able to have much movement here. We want to have some movement because then that helps us to balance. If we're stiff and then we need to kind of adjust our center of gravity, it doesn't work as much. If we have some flexibility in our feet and ankles, We can adjust if we step on an uneven surface of the ground, and we can keep our balance. Okay, now let's balance it right in the middle. Stand on your left leg, pick up your right knee. And we're going to make a little pendulum here. So bring the foot across. Without moving the upper leg, bring the foot out. Now this is a really big improvement for me with this is the newest hip. So I could not really do much range, especially out this way. And that is really coming along. And I don't feel any discomfort or pain, so that's excellent. Now we'll bring it across and then just set the ankle across the top leg, keeping this knee out. And we'll bend the standing leg a little bit and bring the chest forward. And this is our standing pigeon pose. It's a nice hip release. If doing this standing just doesn't feel like that's what your body wants to do, you can also sit in a chair and bring that left or right leg across and sit and fold the body forward. If you want to challenge your balance, you can let go of the chair or the wall. You can also bring your Padma Mudra, if you're balancing, right to your chest. All right, let's start to come out of that pose, pressing up, uncross. I don't know if you noticed any of that ankle mobility in that left leg as you did that pose, but maybe we'll think about it a little bit more on the other side. So stand on the right foot, bring up the left knee. We'll come to the inside and to the outside. Good. I can definitely see some difference from right to left side. This is the first hip I had done, and actually the mobility is not quite as good. One of life's mysteries. So make sure you're not moving the upper leg side to side. It's just rotating. Think about the muscles you're activating to do this. Good. Let's bring it across for our standing pigeon. Start to bend the knee on the standing leg, lower the body down. The more you fold the upper body forward, the more you're going to feel that hip stretch in the left side. And then use your intuition and your creativity here. Maybe we find the Padma Mudra. Usually this is my good balancing leg, but it's more challenging on this side, but that's okay. I'll use one finger here. Very nice. All right, let's come on up and uncross. And before we come into the next balance pose, let's do a standing forward fold. So we'll inhale, reach. Exhale and swan dive down. And relax. Let your head relax. You can support your hands onto your chair, to a block, on your shins, or you can cross opposite hands on the elbows and just release any tension in the lower back. Bending the knees as much as you need, maybe moving side to side. And then release the hands, reverse swan dive, come on up, inhale. Make your Lotus Mudra. Now, if you need your chair, you can keep one hand in the Lotus Mudra or both hands, and we will switch the body weight to the left foot, pick up the right knee, but I want you to keep your big toe on the floor. It's going to act like a fulcrum, And I want you to rotate the leg out and in. And use the chair. Out and in. Now, when you go out and in, try not to move your hips. If you do that, you're rotating this leg. But I want this leg to remain completely stable and your pelvis to remain stable. Now let's take it out to the side and hold. Notice the back glute muscle on that right leg. You're firing it, and then we'll pick up the foot and maybe place it to the ankle, to the inside of the shin. And if we can find our Padma Mudra here, we have our tree pose. Also, use your creativity and your intuition. If you fall out of the pose like I just did, take your time, come back. Maybe you do some different things with your arms to challenge your balance. The Padma Mudra above the head is challenging. One more breath. And come back and relax. Boy, I felt a lot going on in the ankle of my standing leg. Okay, let's come back to our Padma Mudra. Shift into the right foot. Big toe of the left foot stays on the floor as we open and close. Open, close. And just notice if one side seems to be a little different than the other, that's completely normal. What we're looking for mostly, though, is the range of motion when we go out. That's what our tree pose is going to look like. The knee will be on whatever angle from our body as our flexibility allows. Okay, let's take it out and hold it. And then maybe we can bring that foot, ankle, shin. You don't want to put it on the knee because when you push in like that, it's not great for your ligaments. And let's hold our tree pose, maybe with our Padma Mudra. Where we use our intuition and creativity. Good job, 10 seconds. And we'll come back and find our mountain pose. Let's do our forward fold again, but this time we're going to separate into a wider position. Slightly turn your toes out. Inhale. Maybe soften your knees a little bit as you exhale and come on down to your wide leg forward fold stretch. Take any options here with what you're doing with your upper body, maybe moving the head a bit, or just swaying the body side to side, opening up the side ribs. Two more breaths. And then reverse swan dive, come back up. Take a 5-pointed star. So the head is 1 point, the two hands are 2 points, the feet are 2 points, so we make 5 points in our star. And then bend your knees and come into goddess squat. So I am going to flex my wrists like I'm holding two heavy objects. My elbows are a little lower than the shoulders. I'm feeling power and strength in the upper and lower body, the core, the biceps, the shoulders. And then with the breath, inhale, exhale. Now let's get our energy back up a little bit here with a dynamic movement. It's up to you how much you bend your knees and go deep into that pose. Use the strength of your forearms to flex your wrists. Two more. Last one, holding your goddess squat. Pull your shoulder blades back a little bit. Fire your core. And then extend your arms. Reach, keep your palms up. Straighten your legs. Turn your right foot out to the side and your left one perpendicular. Warrior two. So right knee is bent. And imagine you're holding two heavy objects. So your arms aren't just there, but they're really placed with intention into space. Bring the palms back to our Padma Mudra. Now we are going to side bend, but I want you to keep this Padma Mudra if possible. And we'll take our right shoulder coming down toward the right leg and back up to neutral. If you need to support, you can bring your hand here and back up. Now our intention is to keep our body in one plane and not to twist. So keep that shoulder, the top shoulder up toward the ceiling, the bottom shoulder right underneath. And we're stretching and strengthening this side of our body and of our back muscles. Feel that work in your right glute, your right quad. And now let's hold that side bend. And again, if you need to support yourself on your leg, please do. If you want a little more, we'll reach our Padma Mudra any amount above the head. This is hard work. 3 breaths. One more breath. Come back up to the center. Extend your arms out long, palms are up. We're going to switch the orientation of our legs. So we'll straighten the right leg, turn the foot in. The left foot turns out. We bend the left knee. We hold our warrior two. And then close the palms to our Padma Mudra with intention. So we have some dynamic action here. We'll side bend toward the bent knee side and come back up. So I only want you to go the amount that your strength and flexibility will allow. I don't want you to strain anything because this is a lot of work into the spinal extensors, into the QL muscle and obliques. Good, nice and strong through the legs, through the feet, through the ankles. The body is staying in the frontal plane. Good, let's hold this one. Support if you need to. Just place that hand down and give yourself some support. Or reach any amount and hold. Try not to let this shoulder rotate down. Keep pulling it back. 3 breaths. Good, and bring it back up. Let's bring both feet straight forward, open out. And then exhale, bring your hands behind you so you can either place flat palms or fists right at the back of your sacrum. Pull your shoulder blades back. And then lift your heart up slightly, open up your throat, press your hips forward, This is a standing camel pose. There's a little bit of tense tightness in your glutes to open up both hip flexors. Now, if looking up toward the ceiling is making you a little bit off kilter, then you can bring your head forward and keep the rest of your spine tipping back. 3 breaths. And come back up. Excellent. Lengthen the arms out long. Bring them to the front and turn your palms up and press your fingers down. And we're going to give a little bit of assistance with this stretch by taking the left hand across the right hand and fingers and pull the fingers down. Good. Now, same hand, pull your fingers up. So I still have the inside of my elbow facing the ceiling, but I'm stretching my wrist the opposite way. Gentle pressure with that left hand. And then both palms up, flex your left wrist so fingers are down. Give yourself some assistance. Gentle stretch here. You should feel that up into your forearms, maybe even a little bit into your biceps. And then reverse that, bringing your fingers toward you. And then make a little fist. Both thumbs up will open out as far as you can. Turn your thumbs down and come back together. Thumbs go up, open, down, forward. 2 more. Up, open, down, forward. 1 more. Good. Now we reverse this. So thumbs are down. We go back. Ooh, that's a stretch. Thumbs up and close. Thumbs down, back, up, close. 2 more. I'm feeling this in the sore biceps from Tuesday. Last one. Thumbs down, pull back, thumbs up, and close together. Relax those arms down. Just shake everything out. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to come into a downward dog by using my chair to show you that example. And if you don't have a chair and you don't want to come to the floor, you can put your hands on a wall and walk your feet back and do your down dog just like that, because our goal is going to be to stretch the lats here. So using the chair, hands on top, walk your feet back, and then really stretch through the shoulders and upper back. You can bring it right down onto your mat. Walk your feet back and stretch. So pick the one that works for you, then use your intuition and creativity. I'm going to give you about a minute to do anything that you would like here in this stretch. So you can pedal out your feet, especially if you're down onto the mat with your down dog. That's a nice stretch for your calves. You can lift and lower 1 leg at a time for a 3-legged dog, or just hold nice and stationary and breathe. Just about 30 seconds. And again, this should be a comfortable edge, comfortable stretch. 2 more slow, deep breaths. And then find your forward fold one more time. Any position with your upper body that you'd like here. Swaying side to side is really nice. Softening those knees a bunch is great. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders. And then release the palms of the hands. Roll your spine up to restack. Standing tall, pull those shoulder blades back. Good. Okay, come back to a comfortable seat so you can sit back in your chair. You can come down to the mat. As we spend some more time connecting with that Padma Mudra, we'll bring the fingertips to touch the pinky fingers, the thumbs, and spread the fingers wide, closing the eyes. And while you're here, I'm just going to one more time read through those benefits of our Padma Mudra. Calms the mind and promotes relaxation. Enhances focus and concentration. Stimulates creativity and intuition. Balances and harmonizes the energy in the body. Helps in deepening meditation and spiritual practices. Cultivates a sense of inner peace and tranquility. With eyes closed, we'll hold our Padma Mudra 3 more breaths. And then we'll bring the thumbs in our Padma Mudra up to the third eye center, the forehead. This is our area of intuition, of wisdom and knowledge. And we remain here for 1 breath for calming thoughts. Then bring the thumbs to touch the lips for calming and peaceful words. And then allow the thumbs to connect with the sternum, the heart center, for peaceful actions in all that we do. And the light and joy that reside within me honors the light and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for our Lotus Padma Mudra practice. If you can stay for a chit chat, I'd love to hear how you're doing today and how you enjoyed today's class. If not, send me a little message. I always enjoy an email or a text to see how things went for you today. And we'll see you all next time.